What's going on, people? Myke C-Town here with another episode of Records and Ramblings. Before we get into the records, let's do a little bit of rambling. So I did a couple interviews recently with two different podcasts. The first one being Musically Meditated. I've talked to this guy for quite some time. Real cool guy. We talked about all kinds of shit. Hardcore, hip-hop, all kinds of stuff. Really, really fun interview. So I'll put that link in the description section down there. I also talked to another podcast called Electric Funeral, which was a lot of fun as well. They primarily talk about metal, so it was more my wheelhouse. So yeah, that was fun. I'll put that link down there as well. Make sure you check both of them out and go subscribe to them, all that good shit. Other than that, let's jump into the records. First record I'm going to show you, this is Agalirept with a name that I absolutely cannot pronounce. Yeah, it's that. Yeah, so they were a black metal band from Poland. They originally released this back in 1997. They only released a few demos before calling it a day, but man, I'm so glad that Archaic Memories put this out because this is some great shit. I wish they would have put the one after this demo on this as well, since this is only 4 songs, so they could have easily just made like a nice big vinyl package with both demos, because the one after this is actually really fucking good. But yeah, this one is really raw black metal, exactly how I like it. Nasty production, some really haunting keyboards, yeah, high-pitched, nasty vocals. Records on black won't bother showing you that, and there's no insert, which was kind of a bummer. I wish they would have put a little bit more into this, but this is still a really, really cool record to have, and it's limited to 200 copies, supposedly. There's no numbering on there, but I take their word for it. You know, they don't seem like liars. But yeah, Agalirept. Make sure you check that out. Next record I'm going to show you, this is The Cure with Torn Down, the Mixed Up Extras. This was a 2018 Record Store Day release, and I think this is actually the only thing that I bought that was a Record Store Day release last year. I'm kind of a little over Record Store Day, you know? It doesn't seem like it's really that much about record stores anymore, and instead it's about just, you know, scooping up these rare records so you can go brag about them later. Which I guess I'm doing now, but this isn't really fucking rare. This was limited to 7,000 copies, which means it's not really limited at all. But anyways, yeah, this is a follow-up to the Mixed Up record that came out many moons ago. Some of the songs on this are just kind of whatever, but some of them are really actually interesting. So if you don't know what this is, Robert Smith just takes a bunch of songs that he likes from his own discography and just kind of remixes them, making them completely different. But yeah, some of them are hit or miss, but like what they did with Shake Dog Shake is really cool. What they did with A Night Like This is really cool. What they did with Plain Song was really good. Cut Here was kind of cool. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not really into picture discs either, but I don't mind it if the picture discs are in like a sleeve or whatever, like this one is. But yeah, here's the actual picture disc. I'm sorry if there's a glare, but I really don't feel like taking that out of the sleeve here. So you'll just have to deal with it. But yeah, the version of Plain Song is really dope because it almost sounds like they just made it more shoegazy. So it almost sounds like Cocteau Twins, which is really, really cool. But yeah, I'm sure you can still get a copy of that. I don't think it's super rare, like I said. I've seen copies floating around for not very expensive. So yeah, if you're a Cure fanatic like your boy, check that shit out. Next record I'm going to show you, this is Moon with Melek is how I assume you pronounce that. But yeah, Moon is an Australian black metal band. They dropped 2 splits, 2 demos, and 2 EPs, all in 2008. And this compiles all of that material. All amazing stuff. Raw, super sad sounding, despondent. It kind of reminds me of Xaster's older material. It all has this really cloudy, depressing air over it. But yeah, Xaster is the closest comparison that I can think of, but god damn it, this shit is so fucking good. I don't remember what year that they actually dropped this this LP set, but it's 2 records, and yeah, guys, if you can find a decently priced copy of this, I say grab it. I've seen some copies floating around recently as cheap as $65, which that sounds nuts for a record, but prior to that, I saw copies of this going for like $150, you know? But yeah, this was limited to 150 copies, and yeah, it's definitely worth grabbing. This was put out by Skjold. I don't have very many Skjold releases because they sell out so quickly, and I just never seem to get lucky enough to grab one. Not that I care that much, because it's just, I don't know, it's kind of silly. But yeah, this is one that's worth having. I do wish there was more to it, though. Like I was saying about that Agalirept record. I wish there was like a booklet or an insert or something with this. But even without it, I definitely think this is worth owning. So yeah. Next record I'm going to show you, this is Phosphorescent with Cest La Vie. So, I saw these guys this past weekend. If you are friends with me on Facebook, or if you follow me on Instagram or Twitter, I posted about them there. I know a couple of guys who play in this band. I've met all of them, of course, but I only really know 3 of them enough to actually have a full conversation. Anyways, yeah, I always go and check them out whenever they play here. I think I've mentioned these guys before. Their piano player is a really, really good friend of mine who I've known since like '99, back when we were both in crappy metal bands and our bands played together. I'm also friends with their drummer, who's a great, great, great guy. And Matt. I met Matt back when he was still an Athens, Georgia resident, and yeah, one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet in your fucking life. But anyways, it's been great watching these guys get bigger and bigger and bigger, and this is their 2018 release. This came out towards the end of last year, and the funny thing about me showing this is me and Scott, their piano player, were talking about this record, and I couldn't remember if I had it or not. And of course I did. The weird thing is, it came out towards the end of the year. I listened to it a bunch when it came out, and then I absolutely forgot about it. And it's not that the music is forgettable. It's not. I think it was just me trying to cram so much shit in towards the end of the year to figure out what was going to be on my best of the year list, and I just totally fucking forgot about this record. But it's some of their most well thought out songs, and my favorite song on here is easily New Birth in New England, which them live playing that, fantastic. But yeah, I got home and realized that I had this and I had never shown this, so here you go. But yeah, if you're not familiar with Phosphorescent, it's Americana with kind of a, I don't want to call it a pop edge. They have like a krautrock edge sometimes. They have a more straightforward rock edge sometimes. Occasionally they also even throw in like some weird kind of synthy parts. But it's Americana at heart, and it's fucking great stuff. And yeah. Next record I'm going to show you, this is Jandek with Chair Beside a Window. Okay, so the reason I'm showing this is because while hanging out at that Phosphorescent show, Jandek came up when we were talking, and I realized I had never actually shown this record. So if someone was asking, what does Jandek sound like? What the fuck do you say, man? How do you describe what Jandek does? I really don't know. Weird, esoteric, experimental, folky blues music, I guess. A guy sort of playing a really out of tune guitar in the worst way possible. Like, is that a good description? Or even though according to Jandek it is actually tuned, it just doesn't sound like it to the average person. But yeah, what makes him so interesting to me is his fuck it attitude to conventional song structures, right? The way he writes songs is completely different than just about anybody else that would write songs that would be in this kind of genre. It could seem pretentiously artistic to some people, but I find it genuinely fascinating. There's a real soul to his music, a real heart to this guy's music. It's incredibly bizarre stuff, but you know, I find it really relaxing, and I definitely need to get more Jandek stuff on wax. Alright fuckers, the last record I'm going to show you in this edition of Records and Ramblings, this is Sonne Hagal with Jordansfrost. So yeah, so this is a neo-folk band from Germany that plays stripped back kind of old world sounding folk, similar to kind of what Fire and Ice does. They have 2 other full-length albums I haven't been able to get my hands on, not because they're super expensive, but just because I can only find them overseas, and you know, overseas shipping, you just get totally fucked. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna get both of them at some point. But yeah, this is the printed insert. Yeah, very, very dark music. And yeah, it just comes together as this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful folk record. Some of it is more traditional sounding folk songs, while other songs are closer to what some would describe as like the more semi-modern sounding neo-folk stuff, but all of it is just great. And I believe you can still get this for a fairly decent price. So if you're into neo-folk, or if you're new to neo-folk, I definitely say this is a great place to start because it's not too weird. It's definitely dark and well played and well written. So yeah, give that a shot. And that's gonna do it for this edition of Record. Ooh. That's gonna do it for this edition of Records and Ramblings. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. As usual, thank you for living, thank you for loving, thank you for being you, and I'll see you guys next time. All right, peace out, boy.